right, you guys, we're going to go over a couple different things on this video. First of which is struggle time. Then we're going to talk about independent learning and then how to use your calculator. So starting with what to do when you're stuck or struggling. Bruh, I don't know what to do. I just had to put that in there. Okay. This is one of my favorite quotes about math. It says, good mathematics is not about how many answers you know, it's about how you behave when you don't know. So let's talk about what to do when you don't know what to do. So I do have this poster in my room for those of you who are in-class students, but I do want to go over it just because it's really important. So struggle time, this is basically when you're stuck on a problem or, when help isn't available right away. The cool thing about struggle time, though, is that even if you feel like you're struggling, you're stuck, you're just like can't get out of this space, that's actually when learning starts to happen, okay? Because you really start thinking about things. So what to do if you are struggling? One of the most important things, and I'll say this over and over and over again in class, reread, circle, underline important information. Okay, so the biggest things to focus on with that would be, what do we already know about the problem and what do we need to know? Okay, if you can kind of separate those two things, which kind of leads into this other one, breaking the problem into smaller parts, that's going to help a ton. Okay. Another thing to always keep in mind, okay, I don't know why this is like so off. It's probably the PDF version. Okay. Anyway, try to keep as calm as you can. Okay. I know math and just, school in general can be stressful and create some anxiety, especially when you don't know what to do. So try to keep calm. Okay. If we get into this like stress, flight or flight response, it's not going to help us. Okay. I put this calc on thing because a lot of times my students forget that they can use a calculator on almost everything. Okay. And that will help a ton, which is why we're going to go over later how to use your calculator. If you are stuck or struggling on a problem and help isn't available right away, a good thing to do is also take a break. Okay. On the break, you can read, you can take a power nap, you can go take a walk, grab a drink, right? It's just a short break to allow you to kind of like refocus, shed some of that anxiety and stress away from not knowing what to do. But taking breaks really does help. Try something. If you're stuck on a problem and you just are not sure what to do, one thing I like to do is just try anything. Okay. Even if it's not the right thing, it can spark some memories on what to do. Okay. Ask a partner or group. Obviously, this goes for if it is okay to ask a partner and group. So if we're doing like exit tickets or quizzes, not a good idea, but every other time, great idea. Ask me if you're still stuck. Okay. I will sometimes tell you to keep struggling. Sometimes I'll just give you hints or point out similar problems to you. But I can be helpful there. Move on to another problem. Sometimes just going on to a different problem and working on that will spark your memory and be like, oh, this is what I do on this one, so it should be pretty similar on this other one, right? So it can spark your memory. Another thing a lot of my students have done the last couple of years is drawing pictures to resemble the problem. So if you look at this one, my lovely stick figures again. So here we're trying to find the distance between the tree and the person, right? We're given the height of the tree and the distance from the top of the tree to the person, but we need to find that distance. So sometimes just drawing the picture can help us visualize what kind of formula we're going to need to use and that kind of stuff. Speaking of formulas, look at your notes. I will have you guys write down some formulas. I don't want you guys to have to just memorize formulas and perform that way. But But that's kind of why I have you write them down, right? So you can look back at formulas you've used on similar problems. Okay. Biggest one though, the big one, use your resources, which we'll talk about in just a minute. Okay. This is a really important thing I wanted to point out though. The difference between not knowing what to do versus not knowing how to do it. Okay. If you don't understand the task, like what you're supposed to do with the assignment, you should ask me. Okay. If you just weren't paying attention or couldn't focus or just not understanding how to do the problem, I would again first check the board or the paper for instructions. That will usually solve the problem. But if it doesn't, and you still don't know how to do the problem, that is when it's struggle time. Okay, so there's a difference between not knowing how to do the problem versus not knowing what to do on the assignment. Okay, so that's for struggle time. Let's talk about how to be an independent learner, aka use your resources. I will say this all the time. You'll get sick of me saying it, but it's important. So always use your resources and be an independent learner. This is going to be one of the biggest takeaways, I think, from this class as a life skill. Okay. A lot of times in like your future jobs and stuff, you won't always be told exactly how to do stuff. So you need to know how to find things, whether it's online or in books, etc. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm going with this. What do I mean by resources? So if you're stuck on a problem, what do you do to figure it out? Okay, there's a lot of different things you can use as resources. First things I want to point out are these. Okay, check your notes. That's why I have you guys take notes. Check your handout. So anything I pass out that has like printed out notes on it or, formulas, that kind of thing, check those. Check your Eureka books. Okay. They'll always have problems that are similar to what we're doing, and that can help a ton. Reread the instructions. I know this sounds like very simple thing to do, but I promise it helps. Look at the board or posters in the room. A lot of times I'll have stuff on the board that will help you with whatever we're doing at the time. Posters in the room, I usually keep up posters that are key concepts of what we're learning at the time. So check those out. For those of you who are online learners, I will be posting those as well. Online tools, we'll talk about those in a minute. Use your calculator and ask someone for help, whether it's me or classmates, parents, friends, family, whatever. Just asking can help. Now, I don't want you to just say, hey, what's the answer? It's more of a, hey, can you give me a hint on how to do this? So it's how, not what is the answer. Excuse me. Okay. Online resources. This is kind of what I want to focus on, especially for you online learners. Really, actually, just for everyone, because this will be what helps you when you're at home or in the future when, you don't have a teacher to go to. So I put a bunch of online resources that are super helpful for me, and also ones that students in the past have told me that help them. And we'll go over some of them. Greatminds.org, that's your Eureka math resources. GeoGebra.org, this is a graphing calculator. It's super cool. It can do a lot of stuff. KhanAcademy.org, this website we'll go over in more detail. It has examples, practice, problems, videos, practice tests. Evernote.com, this is an awesome online notebook or planner. So if you want to take notes on the computer, or if you take notes in class and then you want to make them more readable, legible, that's a good place to do it. Study.com, this also has online examples and practice problems. Desmos.com, we will use this a lot, especially in you ninth graders. It's basically a graphing calculator, but it also has like test practice, geometry tools. It has like activities on it, so we'll be using that a lot. I almost did not say that word right. Speechnotes.co. This is a speech to text note taking. So if you kind of scribble your notes in class, and then just want to easily take them, to the computer, you can basically just read your notes out loud and this will take them down for you. Google Classroom, always a great place to check. I always try to keep video explanations of how to do concepts, notes and stuff on there. So always check that. Naturalreaders.com/online. This is a text to speech. So instead of talking to the computer and it writing the notes out for you, it's when you have notes already on the computer or you're looking something up on the computer, and it reads it to you. Okay, so that's super helpful. YouTube can be awesome. Same with Google. I try to do video explanations on a lot of concepts and put those on Google Classroom, and those are posted through YouTube as well. So wolframalpha.com. This website has examples, practice, and interactive stuff. So it's pretty cool. Again, we're going to go over some of these in more detail. First, starting with Khan Academy. So if you're stuck on a problem, sometimes I'll say use your resources, and you're going to be like, well, what do I do? Khan Academy is a fantastic one to look up, even during class, okay? I'm totally fine with you guys doing that. So if you go to khanacademy.org, you can log in with your student email, and it kind of will save what kind of things you have been working on in the past, but you don't have to do that. You can just not log in at all. There's going to be a search bar, okay? Right there. I'll show you it, but search bar, and you can type in what kind of things you're looking for. So here's khanacademy.org. Okay. Search bar would be right here. So let's say I'm looking on how to convert fractions. Look, it even popped up already before I even finished typing. Convert fractions to decimals. Okay, so I'd click on that. It's going to take a minute to think about it. Okay. So then I'll pull up with a ton of different resources on that topic, right? Some of them will be video explanations, there'll be practice problems, rewriting fractions as decimals, right? So there's a ton of different videos, there's a lot of different problems, challenge problems, review articles, okay? So there's a bunch of different resources there. Another way you can search on Khan Academy, besides the search bar, is clicking on courses. Okay, let me see if I can highlight my mouse, actually. That might be helpful. There we go, courses. Okay, so if you click on courses, let's say that we're talking about 7th grade math. You can click on 7th grade. Now, what's great about Khan Academy, I don't know if you saw this, but they have science stuff, computing stuff, arts and humanities, reading, economics, life skills, all sorts of things. They started out doing math, and then they've expanded, and they have awesome resources for everything. Anyway, going back, 7th grade. So once you're in your grade, you can choose what topic you want to look for. So like talking about negative numbers, fractions, decimals, and percentages. So I wanted to convert fractions to decimals. So you can click on the topic, okay? And then it'll break it down into subtopics, right? So it'll have videos on how to do stuff, practice problems, okay? All sorts of stuff. So there's Khan Academy. Next one, Wolfram Alpha. So here, wolframalpha.com, you can enter what you want to calculate. So if, for example, I wanted to solve an equation, I could say solve for x and then type the equation, right? And it'll take you to resources that'll show you how to do it. Okay, another thing you can do, again, they have multiple different subjects, but since we're focusing on math, I'm going to choose step-by-step solutions. You can't obviously choose anything else, but that's where I'm going to show you today. Okay, so they have step-by-step solutions. Let's see, browse examples. Math. Let's say that we want to do step-by-step solution examples on, let's say, statistics. Okay, so they'll have a ton of different examples, step-by-step solutions, different practice problems. They also have interactive like video stuff, which is really cool. But yeah, you can click on stuff like that. It'll show you an example. Okay. You can also click on more examples and it'll take you to a page with lots of stuff on it. Okay. So Wolfram Alpha is pretty awesome. I personally like Khan Academy the best. It just seems more intuitive and easy to use, but Wolfram Alpha is awesome as well. Okay. How to search online for Miss Monson's video explanations. Okay, these will be in Google Classroom. I post them through YouTube, but then I link them in Google Classroom. So if you go to your Google Classroom, say we're talking about my 9th grade class, obviously my screen looks slightly different than yours, but you get the gist. If you go to classwork, let me highlight this mouse again. Classwork, it's already there. If you look on the side, there's different topics, right? One of them is going to be video explanations, okay? This is where I've posted video explanations of different concepts we'll be learning, okay? 7th grade, I don't think I have posted any yet, but we'll get there, okay? So there's those, should be helpful. How to search online with Google. Google can be your best friend, but it can also be your worst nightmare because there are so many things, so many resources that pop up when you search in Google that you have to know the reliable information. So I've listed a few of the reliable resources for when you search for math things. So let me get this mouse up again. Oh, for some reason it's not showing on this page. That's okay. So for example, I screenshotted this. I was typing in how to convert fractions to, and let's say I wanted to do decimals, okay? So I click on that when I'm searching. These are the types of things that popped up. So this popped up first, if you can see where my mouse is. Okay, sometimes Google will actually just already give you a step-by-step solution on how to do stuff when you search. Okay, so that popped up first, which is a great example. You'll also notice when I scrolled down after I searched for this, there was a bunch of different videos that popped up, more websites that popped up. So the ones that I would recommend, resources that typically pop up with math stuff, are Khan Academy videos, Math Antics videos, so that's this one right here, and there's Khan Academy. The Math is Fun website, they have lots of good examples, so that's this one right here, Math is Fun, okay? And the study.com website, okay? I don't have that shown here, but that's always a good resource as well, okay? So that's your best option when you're searching through Google. Look for familiar things that I've told you about, familiar websites, okay? You don't want to just go click on anything. But those are the most common ones I've found, okay? So that can help you. Really quick before we go to the calculator thing. Great Minds. If you go to greatminds.org, again, this is Eureka. This is the Eureka website. So greatminds.org, the first thing you'll see is knowledge on the go, access free resources. That's going to be the best place to go. So if you clicked on that, let me highlight my mouse again. If you click on access free resources, okay, I'll pop up with this lovely page. You select your grade. So let's say we're talking about 9th grade Algebra 1. Okay, we click on that. They have video lessons on there. There's additional resources for students, teachers, and families. This is where you can view the actual, like, the books and stuff. So I would click on that. And it takes you to kind of like an online Dropbox of the modules and what we're learning. So if your parents want to look at the book with you at home, this is where they would want to go. Okay. Oh yeah, this is the Math is Fun website. I pulled this up just to show you. This is what popped up when I searched for convert a decimal number to its equivalent fraction. Okay, so they have what the answer is, but they will also down below tell you how to do it. Okay. So there's your online resources. Let's talk about how to use your calculator now. Obviously, these are kind of blurry, kind of hard to see. But the important things are highlighted. And if you are an online learner and you don't have the same calculator, that's totally fine. Just Google your calculator. So this one, for example, these are the class calculators, the TI-30X IIS. So if we typed that in, so how to use TI-30X IIS calculator. Okay. So there'll be a bunch of videos that pop up on how to use your specific calculator. There'll be reference guides. The reference guides are awesome. So I'll just pull this up. Actually, let's look at the reference card. Those are sweet. Hopefully this is showing up for you guys. So yeah, it just has like the basic things you would need to know on how to use your calculator. Okay. The one that's, I think, the most important is this fractions one. Okay. Because that's going to be the most tricky generally. But what's really cool with these calculators is that you can convert, you can enter fractions on your calculator, first of all. But you can also convert like mixed numbers into improper fractions. Okay, so that's what you would use here. You can also convert between fractions and decimals using the second PRB. So it's second PRB. Again, I know this is blurry, but okay, those are probably the most important ones to know. And again, if you're not using this same calculator at home, that's totally fine. Just Google how to use your specific calculator. Okay. So this is where I would have you guys try it on your calculator just to make sure you know how to do it. So if you're an online student, I would try these on whatever calculator you have. And if you just have a computer, you don't have a calculator, you can still do this, right? So say we want to convert 0.03 into percent form. I'm just going to copy that, paste it. Okay. It'll give you a calculator. Okay. You can also watch videos on how to do it. Okay. So there's multiple different options. You can also just type in calculator. Okay. And Google has a calculator there for you. Okay. So hopefully that helps. Again, I didn't want to go into too much detail on how to use a calculator for my online students just because you probably won't be using the same calculator. But if you have questions on how to use your calculator, even after you Google it, please just send me a message and I will help you as much as I can. Okay? But I would definitely try these because these are the most important things that you'll be entering onto your calculators. Okay. That's pretty much it for today, I think. Yep. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Again, if you have any other questions, concerns, jokes, interpretive dances, let me know.